So welcome to our very first Fire Chat with Notre Dame Global to talk about our summer short-term experiences. My name is Brigida Richmond. I'm the Director for Summer Programs. And today we sit down with Jonathan to talk about his experience in Mumbai last year and really the impact that it had on his life, career, academics, all the things. So we're excited to have you. Thank you for joining me today. Would you like to start off by introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much, Brigida. As Brigida mentioned, my name is Jonathan. I'm from Morristown, New Jersey, currently a senior studying computer science, and I'm excited to kind of share my experience in my 8 months or almost a year after my experience there. So I'm excited to be here and kind of talk to you guys.
Yeah, great. We have some masala chai, which makes it for a really good talk, and the nice fireplace in the back. So hopefully this conversation is warm and cozy.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
So I do have some questions for you that I have written down.
Sure.
Just to dive deep into the conversation. Let's begin by reflecting on your time in Mumbai. What is the first thing that comes to your mind thinking about your experience?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've kind of been thinking about this. Like, I like to journal, so I think I've already caught up with mine. I'm a bit behind, so I like to journal my experiences and stuff like that. So what I've like kind of written in my journal and kind of, as you're asking right now, Brigida, it's just my experiences that it's changed a lot of my outlook on how I see the world, specifically how big it is and how like I'm living a life here and then someone across in India is living a life out there. It's kind of crazy. We're all like, living our life. But I think it's made me more worldly in terms of seeing how big the world is and how other possibilities and how are out there that I could pursue and meet people and kind of just interact with them and kind of create new experiences. Yeah.
Perfect. The first thing that comes to my mind, because I was obviously with you guys the first 10, 11 days, is that I wasn't ready to leave. Like it had it was such a great experience where after 10 days, it was time to go. And I thought, but I want to stay longer.
Right.
I want to continue doing and exploring the different parts of Mumbai. And I feel that a lot of the students in the group also thought the 3 weeks that they were there, like it was a really good experience that opened our worldviews and to a country we've never traveled to. So that was my first time.
Exactly.
And that was your first time?
My first time as well. Yeah.
So great. So it's been 8 months since we've been in India. What are some of your memorable highlights from your 3 weeks? I know it's hard to pick one because even the first 10 days, there were so many moments where I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were a lot, I'd say, as memorable. But I'll choose the top 3, of course. So number 1, first seeing one of the world's wonders, the Taj Mahal, just kind of being there. And you would see it in the movies and stuff, but actually being there. And like I do a little tradition where actually, if I can touch the building or whatever, I can touch it, because which I did. But it's because you can see it, you can hear this everything, but like feeling it, it kind of creates more of that memory. My view. But I think that would be one of them. Also, just being in one of like the biggest cities in Asia, Mumbai, and it had a big tech scene and financial hub. That was really cool. And then the third one would be just interacting with the people there every day. Just kind of say, hey, what's your name? What do you do? I shared what I do. I'm just here. I've never been here for the first time. And they're very excited to hear that and opened up about what they did and kind of more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to find those small moments of meaningful connections. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a long friendship or a long engagement or anything like that. It's those moments where you share your story and you hear someone else's story where you have the ability to connect.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. So don't mind me. I have my list of questions.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So how did being immersed in the Indian culture shape your perspective on the world? I know there are a lot of the cultural excursions and the academic excursions that we went on took you out into Mumbai and really allowed you to see different parts of Mumbai from different. So yeah, can you tell us about that?
How it shaped it? I think I've grown and been able to appreciate more about making connections and like meaningful connections with people that are from that part of the world, like India. So I think I've been able to connect with them at a deeper level than before. So, which now wherever I go, if I encounter someone or hear they're from India, I'm like, oh, hey, we're in India. And they're like, yeah, they tell me like, oh, Kolkata. I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And they're like, how do you know that? It's like, oh, because I've been to India before and I told them about my experience there, and they just smile and like they're excited to hear that. So I think that's been one of the key things that I've been able to kind of adapt and from that India trip and kind of better connect with other groups or other countries, people from other countries around the world at a closer level through by actually being there and like doing what they would be doing when they're out there.
So. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're wearing your cricket club shirt or your Mumbai Indians cricket
I am
jersey.
Jersey, yeah.
Mine's hanging up at home and I love it.
Yeah,
it's
framed up.
Right. But yeah, tell me about your experience. And we went to the cricket game.
Yeah. Just, no. Like I thought, myself, I thought I was a big football or soccer fan. But until you go out there, I'm like, wow, people love cricket. Like they think about cricket all the time, and they even play it all the time. It was like, I remember we went on a stroll, you, Brigitte and I, and we just saw people playing. It was like probably 110 degrees in open park, people playing out there. So it's definitely, they love it out there, and they're very passionate. And the Mumbai Indians team, we actually went to see a game, which was awesome. Like, it's crazy to see that they rallied that many people, and it was a great time. And they definitely to see a pride in it, which I can see. Like it really, especially in a country that's so has so many people and so many cultures within the whole Indian nation, like it really combines them and brings them together. So.
I kind of think that we brought a little bit of cricket back with us.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
And, I still have my flag. I don't have a stick, but
let's see. Let's show the fans out there. Mumbai Indians, let's go. Yes. Best cricket team in the world. That's all I'm saying. Right. Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I have it hanging up in my desk, or my office. Yeah. But there was one. I think it's really important to highlight the connecting to other people, whether in South Bend or during your travels, through that cricket experience.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I love it. So you're an engineering major, and the course focuses on government, economic history. How has going to India shaped your academics?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a good question. And kind of, I have more clarity now, especially as a computer science student, where I could definitely fit in those sectors. And one of the things that I learned from being in India and that 3-week program is that politics and government and all that, there's a science behind it. And using my computer science background, there could be a way that I could be applied into that, whether it's to kind of organize the data on what people want and they want to see changes on. And that's what India does. They do actually like an online, I believe. They don't really do it. Like their government elections are different than ours. So, and they host the world's largest election. It's like 1.3 billion people. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
Whereas the U.S. is like 300 million, which is not a lot. It's a lot, but not as much as them. So how efficient that is, I definitely learned that it takes a lot of technology, and that's something that I could definitely apply my degree in computer science into that area. So I'm definitely more motivated now to work within the government sector and kind of more on the policy side and all that.
I felt it was really cool to be part of that experience, that voting experience.
Yeah, we were there during like the election.
The elections.
So, that was great.
That was awesome. Something that you don't think can really be like from before. You don't think, oh, I can't wait to be part of the elections. But when you're there experiencing it, it's just such a different.
Exactly.
Right. So my next question, was there anything about India that completely surprised you?
Let's see. Surprised me. I think, let's see. One of the things that probably surprised me the most was probably the amount of young people there were.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everywhere I saw, I'm like, oh, there's people like my age and like young adults. So I'm like, oh, wow. So that means like there's like there's the manpower or to work
or women power
or women power too.
Let's be
man in general, and just like mankind.
Human
power. There we go. Human power. There's a lot of human power out there. So that India's like still a young country. That's actually very surprising because they recently, I think in 1960 around, they got officially an independent nation, not a tie with the UK or England. Yeah. So seeing that large advancement in 60 years, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty young nation, and they've made it like so far being one of like the world's powerhouses in industry, tech. So in those 60 years, it's pretty impressive. So that's something that really surprised me, and being out there and talking to people about it and finding out what sector they work. And mainly was IT that I've met, but it was just pretty incredible.
Yeah. One of the things that really surprised me is how comfortable I was in the city.
Very safe, honestly.
Yeah, very, very safe. I mean, as a young female, anywhere you travel to, you think, is it going to be safe?
Exactly.
But really, the places that the program takes you on is safe, but you can be in Chicago and not be safe. So it's this preconceived notions that we have about certain regions of the world, or even just every other place.
Yeah.
But how comfortable it was. It felt natural to be in the hustle and bustle and
crossing those roads. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
One thing I always talk about with my friends and my family are the beeping or the horn.
Yeah, the noise pollution is crazy out there, but
we're driving through, and then our first day we arrived, everyone's like, why is everyone beeping, like honking? And then by the very end, we all became accustomed, and we knew where the honking. Oh yeah, this honk was for that car, and this honk. But it was incredible how quickly we adapted to it, and then it felt comfortable, and then it was natural.
Yeah, it was definitely, and like the whole time we were there, like Northern Global did a great job. It's telling us, hey guys, this is the type of things you should do, like avoid like this type of food, these type of areas, what type. So I think overall, I felt like I was, just traveling. It wasn't anything like out of the ordinary in terms of that, in that sense.
And I do pride ourselves in Notre Dame Global to prioritize global health and safety.
Yeah, for sure.
That was something I was involved in the COVID pandemic when we brought all the students back.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And part of that experience really showed me the importance of the Notre Dame community.
Oh yeah,
it didn't matter where anybody was, and even now, we send students all over. Health and safety and well-being is important. There's a big team behind just supporting you and getting you ready for the journey. So
that's great. I'm glad it's smooth when I'm out there traveling and doing my adventures. So
yeah, it was great. And one thing I forgot to mention, did you know, I think we know who started the cricket club, right? The founder.
Oh, who was it?
Is the director of the India Initiatives, Duraj.
Oh, Duraj, no way.
He was an alumni, and he
nice.
Started the cricket club. So I think you should join the cricket.
Oh yeah,
the cricket
I
club.
will. I think hopefully, I know it's mainly indoor now, but I think it'll be nice when we play on the South Quad. Yeah. Think about it.
And then you can tell everybody, like, I know the founder.
Exactly. I know him.
Like, I know him. We're on first name basis.
Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, so I just have a couple more questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you had to sum up the most valuable thing you gained from this experience in one sentence, what would that be? And that's hard. That's a hard question, I feel.
It's tough.
Like
Putting me on the spot.
Yeah, in one sentence.
One sentence. Let's see.
You can have two sentences.
Yeah, all right.
1.5. 2.5.
2.5. Okay. I'd say, I guess seeing everyday life through a different lens, I'd say. Mm-hmm. You know, I think a lot of my daily routines and stuff are very this way, but then I know someone else across the world is doing that same routine in a different way. Mm-hmm. And kind of putting myself in that shoes and kind of seeing, okay, this is how, even though different routines, we're still trying to go to the same goal of like following our goals or dreams or that sense. So I think definitely I would kind of, in 1 or 2 sentences, that would be kind of my thing.
It's a big world. When you really think about everyone in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting up, doing the things that
going
they
to
need
work.
To do, going to work.
We all go to work, but
take care of
it's
kids.
Different, like how people go to work there.
It is.
You know, it's...
So, I mean...
Even commuting there, too.
Human interaction is so important for us to learn about other cultures and hear their stories and learn more about them. I think that's really where we can connect and understand each other. Right. I feel like now that I came back and I had such a great time, and even before, I visit the Indian stores in South Bend,
nice.
And I take my kids.
Oh, that's awesome!
And,
that's fantastic.
I wear my cricket shirt, and they're probably wondering, like, who is this woman?
Lady? Yeah,
who's this lady? And with her 2 kids, 2 crazy kids.
Where did she find that shirt?
Yeah, well, how did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have connections.
Yeah, we got connections.
We have good connections in Mumbai.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it gives us the ability to understand each other, and really,
Yeah, and I agree, and that's why like studying abroad is so important. I feel like because you don't want to kind of silo. If you have the opportunity, you don't want to silo yourself in just one area, because then you kind of just adapt that area's mindset of outlook on life. Yeah. But if you actually travel, you get to kind of bring your ideas there, but also collaborate and mix your ideas together, and then you kind of become better as a person. I think I've become better as a person, the way I think, the way I see life or like the world by going to India, for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes people think we have to be in a location for a long time.
No, yeah.
But having our summer programs are really built around intentionality. Exactly. And I keep doing this.
Yeah, right.
Like they're short, they're little
short.
snippets.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're meaningful. And when we build the programs, we have the students in mind. We have the course content in mind. We have the location in mind. So there's so much intentionality that is put into creating and building a program. And having those moments where you are connecting with the locals and engaging and hearing stories, and that's where you can come back a little bit different.
Exactly.
And
and like that kind of just reminded me, like I remember for the Elephanta Cave, so we had a tour guide named Dev. Like after that, we hit it off pretty good, and now we're friends on Instagram. Always see him riding his motorcycle across like India or like wherever. He likes my stories. So cool. I like his stories. Yeah.
So you guys are officially Instagram friends.
Yeah, we've been. So it's pretty funny.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to ask you for his Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Handle.
Yeah, because
follow him.
Next time we need somebody to go back for Elephanta Caves, which I'm definitely going back, and I'm bringing some family and some friends.
I love that.
Maybe I got Dev. I got
that. Yeah. And talking about that, I remember when we were on the boat to go to the Elephanta Caves, and I think you did a really good job, as well as the other students in the group, where you found moments to engage. There was 2 young adult males on the boat, and you just naturally started a conversation with them. You were talking to them. Where are they going to school?
Yeah, exactly.
The entire ride. And I remember thinking, like, this is where you're changing, this sounds cliche, but changing the world, finding ways to connect with different people
I agree.
in different countries. Like that's where it is. That's because we can read about countries, we can read about cultures, but until you actually engage in them, it's
it's pretty, I'd say very profound. Like looking back at it, I'm like, wow, it was very short, like interaction. It was just like a boat ride, which is like what, 30 minutes or something, like an hour. But just kind of talking with them kind of made me see like, oh, okay, what's the journey for them that took them to where they are now, and kind of sharing why I'm here, like all this. So, and they even gave me some good recommendations of where to go eat and what other things to see. So that's what I'm saying. If you really want to know the best things around like any city or town, ask the locals. They know.
Yeah.
So
that is so true. Yeah. My last question. We are very excited that 9 students are going to be in the group this year.
That's awesome.
Which actually that's a normal size, but a good size for Mumbai, especially crossing the street.
Exactly. The smaller group, the better, more compact. Cause,
we can keep them together.
There are no walk little like those signs or the walk. People won't know.
You just
it's just a sign.
You just go. You have to figure it out.
Exactly.
You have to figure it out.
Exactly.
What's one piece of advice you would give to future students that are going to India?
Let's see.
Or Mumbai. Let's just say Mumbai. But they'll also go to Agra.
I'll definitely say to not be afraid to not be afraid to kind of see the world through a different lens, and that could mean whether it's like, oh, it's really hot today, and not every place has AC, but that's the experience out there. Like people live like that, like that's normal. So kind of adjusting yourself to the environment around you, be able to be flexible, very flexible and adaptive, because that's a skill that wherever you go, you'll need. Because even you could be out here at Notre Dame, St. Edward's Hall, it feels like I'm in India sometimes, especially fall semester. I get in there's no AC. I'm like, well, I'm back in Mumbai. So, so like you don't have to go across the world like for feeling that, but it helps you get that mindset and kind of see how other people live and how like they go about their days on a day to day. So definitely be adaptive, flexible, and just open to new experiences, and keeping in mind that you're there to learn, you're there to engage. You're not sightseeing, but you're there to engage and kind of give your perspective for where you're coming from in the U.S., but also absorb as much as you can while you're there. So that's definitely
embrace the discomfort.
Embrace the discomfort.
Embrace the discomfort.
Embrace it. That's where you really grow as a person.
Absolutely. That is so true. If you're always in your comfort zone,
exactly,
it's just you don't. That's not for work.
You're too comfortable. There's no need to actually.
No. Well, I know I'm excited to go back to India. I don't know when. I don't know where.
Could be this summer. Brigida part 2. Got to do an audit, to make sure everything's.
I do. I gotta. But I'm very happy that we're still talking about India definitely. 8 months later. So thank you for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for joining us in our little fireside chat today with Jonathan to hear about his experience in India. Maybe there'll be a second fireside chat. We'll see.
Part 2. We'll see.
But for now, thank you for joining us. And I ordered us some food. So Jonathan and I are going to take some time and eat some good Indian food. So
gotta eat my paneer. That's what I miss. So all right.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Take care, everyone.